Hey Frank, if I can just ask you a holiday kind of Christmas question first, I asked LeBron the same thing, but anything around the house that you do, are you skilled at getting presents, at gift wrapping, at helping prepare food, at getting movies ready? What's your routine there?
I'm an assistant coach to all of that stuff. Yeah, whatever. My wife does all the wrapping, and I got to take care of. Me and my girls will take care of my wife's gifts, and my wife pretty much does everything else. I did do the lights on the Christmas tree, and then helped with some of the ornaments. But I'm the lights guy. That's my annual assignment.
That's helpful. That's helpful. Yeah, my wife does the majority of stuff here too. Frank, just hoops wise, what did you see on tape from the first game, and how do you think that translates to a different matchup with Dallas? I guess the way I'm asking it is, I'm sure you're more concerned about your own team at this point, but you have to account for Luka and stuff like that specifically.
Yeah, well, from game one, I wasn't totally unhappy with how we played. Obviously, it could be better in a lot of ways, but I felt like it was one of those games where there was a lot of good defense possessions by us where they made a tough shot. And conversely, I thought there were a lot of good offensive possessions plays by us where we missed a shot. And you're going to have games like that, so I'm not overly concerned. Really just focusing on the execution pieces on a daily basis with a growth mindset, removing the result of the game from our process. And that's what the last couple of days have been about. We spent this morning preparing for Dallas and all the challenges that they bring to the table, and hopefully we'll be ready to go.
Dave?
Frank, how do you view Dallas as a potential contender, playoff foe down the line? Where are they? Are they right near the top? Are they throwing? How do you see them?
Yeah, well, with Luka in his second year, they basically posted an offensive rating that was the best rating in the history of the NBA. So I would only imagine that in year three, they're even better. Obviously they have one of the best coaches in the league, so definitely consider them one of the top teams in the West.
Dan?
Hey Frank, Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Thank you, you too.
I'm wondering, with their shooting, what are some of the strains that'll put on a guy like Mark, who obviously is better, closer to the basket, and how can you still use him when teams are going to play without traditional centers? Like Dwight obviously pulls away from the basket.
Yeah, but Dwight Powell's more of a roller than a pop guy. But Mark's been playing. He's been playing against spread five offenses the last few years. Won a championship doing it. So he understands the coverages. We have to make sure that we have coverages in place to protect him and to get him out of situations that are advantageous to the offense. We didn't do that well enough the other night for sure, and part of that was why he was getting in foul trouble. So we got to continue our understanding of each other and how we or how we navigate those types of situations, and then take advantage of them on the other end as well.
Hey Frank,
Merry Christmas, Eve.
I know you're a guy who kind of checks out a little bit from your surroundings and concentrates between the lines during the game. But at the same time, being back in Staples Center for a couple of these games now without the fans, is there anything about that setting or the surroundings that feels, maybe comforting and familiar, even though the fans can't be there?
It definitely does. We definitely feel like we're back at home and we're playing a home game. As opposed to in the bubble, it was really a neutral site environment. As much as they try to do stuff with the fan boards and whatnot, it was really a neutral site environment, and that's very different this year. It definitely feels like we're playing home games.
Bill?
Hey Frank, I would like to wish you a more buoyant Merry Christmas than Kyle did. So Merry Christmas.
Buoyant Merry Christmas back at you.
Hey, LeBron said, that there's really no thought of him not playing tomorrow with that ankle, and that, he's never missed a Christmas game and is never going to miss a Christmas game, essentially. I'm just curious, given the circumstances of this year and, the short off, just everything we've talked about so much, does the calculus of a decision like that change at all with the trainers, with the coaching staff, and with him?
Yeah, I think you have to consider it, you know, in light of the environment that we're in, the situation we're in. But, you know, and I think it was considered, you know, but it's really a mild ankle sprain, something he can play on. And, you know, so if it was more significant, more severe, then I think those types of things would factor into the decision. But it's mild enough that he's gonna be good to go.
Thanks for the jolly answer.
Of course.
Last three questions, Alan Slewa.
Hey, Coach. Hey, on when you have a player like Luka Doncic that does so much for, you know, obviously he's doing everything for the team. From a defense standpoint, or defensively for you guys, are there things you try to key in on? Is it, okay, well, if we can just take away some of his points, or if he's not getting 10 or 12 assists? I mean, I know there's a lot that goes into it, but can you walk through what some of that defensive game plan is, as much as you can for tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, without getting into the details of you know, what we're trying to do with him, you know, it really comes down to helping enough, but not over helping. You know what I mean? Because if you we found it last year, you know, when we bring too much attention to him, he's able to pick you apart with his passing, and they have, you know, obviously one of the best three-point shooting support systems in the league. So if you bring too much, you're in trouble, and you know, if you leave him alone, you know, leave him isolated too much and don't bring enough help, you know, he's capable of well, averaging 29 and capable of putting 40 on you. So you know, it's just making sure that you're finding that balance, you know, of slowing him down and keeping the other guys in check.
Jordan.
Hey, Coach. Just to piggyback a little bit off of what Alan and Dan said, you know, AD took the responsibility of guarding Kawhi a lot in the first quarter. Now we go to this game where Luka, you know, like you mentioned before, he makes reads. But a lot of last game, he was putting in the pick and roll in the center, at the center of the floor, and it was a delayed roll from Dwight Powell. So now in this situation, would you like to see AD guard that pick and roll situation a little bit more without kind of going into too much detail about it?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. You know, I think again, I don't want to tip my hand too much about what our game plan is going to be against Dallas, but we'll have multiple defenders on him. You know, we'll leave it at that. And you know, AD has the ability to guard perimeter guys, and you know, obviously he can do it in ISO situations. Where it gets complicated is when, you know, that player is handling a lot in pick and rolls and coming off pin downs, more guard oriented stuff. You know, that it becomes more challenging, but we'll have multiple defenders on Luka.
David.
Hey, Coach. Merry Christmas from Italy, first of all.
Merry Christmas.
I'm curious about how you guys are navigating all the restrictions you have in place due to COVID. How much is different your job and, I don't know, a normal training from what would have been before COVID?
Yeah, it's a challenge, you know, but you know, these are things that, you know, are really out of our control, and you know, we try to, as a group, have a mindset to not let things like that affect our focus. You know, we only focus on what we can control. So the uncontrollables are, we have to show up early to make sure we're testing. We can't have staff meetings, you know, in the normal staff meeting room. We have to have them on the court, you know, when there's balls bouncing and music playing and whatnot. And, you know, you just have to sort of navigate through those things and not let them pull away from your focus. So we're doing fine with it.
Coach, I have two follow-ups if you don't mind.
Yep.
Mike Trudell.
Oh, it's for Mike? No. Anybody else, I would say yes.
The other one is for Dan, so I really hope you say no to that one.
Yeah, this one's a real softball. Anyway, I just wondered with the ring, like, those things are heavy. Have you been wearing it around the house? Can you actually do anything with it on? Like, what's the ring inside the Vogel household story?
Yeah, just you know, it's been popular for my daughters to, you know, use it in certain TikTok situations and Instagram and, you know, all those types of things that, you know, it's spiced up their social media life. I have not worn it around the house or anything like that. It's pretty much staying in the display case. We open up, look at it from time to time. We'll show family members on FaceTime and whatnot, but not wearing it around the house.
And Dan,
Frank, you seem like such a big jewelry guy, though. That it seems like something you would have on constantly.
Right, I'm gonna get miniature earring versions of it, you know, to bust out at some point.
I'm curious, was there a lot of discussion between either you and the players, you and the staff, about what happened with Houston yesterday? And, I mean, this is gonna happen, I guess, obviously, over the course of the season. Did you use it to reinforce any messages?
We did not. We didn't even talk about it today. You know, today's the nature of today's practice was it was an early day. It's Christmas Eve. Want to get right to work and get them right out. So we didn't really talk about anything other than you know, the work that we had to get done. So we didn't address that today.